Hi everybody, today I want to talk to you about another form of communication, something else to go along with our coaching, and that is nonverbal communication. So nonverbal communication is a really amazing thing because it is across all boards. It is across all cultures, all dialects, all languages, and it's something that you can't fake. You can do your best to fake some type of nonverbal communication, but it's pretty easy to identify through somebody's body motions, their facial expressions, their eye contact, their gestures, what they're really trying to convey. So nonverbal communication is a really great one for us to be mindful of. So you'd want to make sure that when you're communicating with others, you are learning to be in tune to nonverbals as well as what your nonverbals put off. A lot of times we find ourselves mirroring other people's nonverbals. So if somebody is really closed off and is saying something, we're very quick to become closed off, and we're very quick to change our tone. If somebody is talking really quickly, watch yourself. You'll find yourself speeding up your conversation. So it can even start to affect your verbal communication. So it has a ton of roles in communication, and one of the things that it can do is provide repetition. So if I'm saying yes, I'm excited, my nonverbals are showing yes, I'm excited. It can also contradict. Yes, I'm super excited. I am super excited about going today. That my nonverbals were saying, yeah, not so much. My words were saying, yes, I'm excited, I want to do this, but so it can also contradict. It can substitute. Now, substitution is something as simple as it can substitute for verbal communication. Just you can use your nonverbals instead. It can complement it, or it can accent it. So somebody saying great job and giving you a pat on the back, that nonverbal gesture of that pat on the back is just complimenting it. So nonverbals can be used for so many different things. There's a bunch of different types of nonverbal communication, and I always have my cheat sheet, which I'll share with you. But so the first type is your facial expressions. And for the most part, those are fairly universal. A smile is a smile everywhere. Sadness, and the way our face expresses sadness, is the same everywhere. Excited is the same everywhere. So that nonverbal or that facial expression. Body movements, postures, as well as gestures are another great one. So the way we move our body, whether we're excited or whether we're big and we're expressive or we're small, our gestures, whether we're closed off or whether we're pointing to kind of pound something in, or however we're using our body, those body movements are nonverbal communication. Eye contact and facial expressions, eye movements, things like that, huge. Touch is another form of nonverbal communication, either harsh touch or a gentle touch, or when you put your hand on somebody's arm, or you put your hand on somebody's hand on the table when they're sharing something with you. I understand what you're feeling. Now, touch is one that we might want to be very, very careful with, because some people are very open to touch and some people aren't. And so that's a form of communication that you have to be very careful when you're expressing. Space is another one. When you're standing really close to somebody and they're saying something to you, how many of you have experienced close talkers? It doesn't matter what they're saying because they are invading your space. So space is another huge form of nonverbal communications. It is saying something about that relationship. It is saying something about the way they communicate, as well as voice. And voice typically is considered verbal, but I'm talking about the level of your voice, or the high of your voice, or the pacing. So you can speak very slowly and very calmly. You can whisper very quickly. So your pacing, that is a nonverbal way of expressing something. So those are things that you want to look for and how you put out there, as well as what people are saying to you, and really learn to read those communications. When you are reading people's verbal communications, the very first and most important thing, in my opinion, after just reading and understanding them, is looking for contradictions. So someone may say to you, I'm really excited about starting a meal plan, or I'm really excited about starting a meal plan. I'm open to anything that you have to say. I am super excited and I'm listening to everything that you're saying. Are my words and my action, my nonverbals matching? No. So you want to watch for that. You want to look for places where there's congruency. Not everybody's going to come in excited, but hopefully they're going to come in and say, I'm not really excited about this, but I know I need to do it for my health. I've bought in. I want to hear what you have to say, but this is totally not something I'm excited about. Or the opposite. Somebody's excited, they're ready to go, they're ready to listen, but look for congruencies, look for inconsistencies, and try to kind of figure that out with somebody. You're telling me you're excited, but you don't seem it. Let's talk about why. So really being aware. You want to make sure, though, that when you're looking at people's behaviors, you don't want to be quick to come to conclusions. You want to group behaviors. If in one interaction somebody's a little distracted, maybe they're having a bad day, or if somebody loses eye contact with you once or twice in a conversation, it could be because they've never been in our store and they're just taking it all in, or the door keeps opening and shutting, or somebody they know just walked in. But if it's through the entire 15, 20-minute conversation, they're constantly looking around and they're constantly not interested, well, then maybe that's something that you pick up on. But you want to group those behaviors. And the biggest thing with nonverbals is trust your instincts. Like I said, nonverbals can't be faked, and nonverbals are pretty much the same across everything. And they're the broadcast of your unconscious language. They're what you're really thinking and feeling deep down. You might be saying something, but what your body is going to show is genuine. So when you're reading it from people, use those instincts, because you're instinctually going to pick up on what they're instinctually throwing out. So just really quick, if you want to kind of have something in your brain, a little checklist, the 6 things that you want to be watching for when you're gauging people's nonverbal communications, as well as when you are trying to monitor your own: eye contact, facial expressions, tone, posture, gestures, kind of the same thing, touch, and then intensity, timing, and spacing. So really just kind of what they're saying, how they're saying it, where they're saying it, the speed that they're saying it, just kind of really check in with those things. So hopefully between this video and this, you have a better idea of nonverbals. There's some really fun activities that I would love to do with you guys at some point that pertains to nonverbal communication and reading it and what you're saying. And it's crazy because you can show a nonverbal to 10 people in a room, and all 10 people are in a lot of situations going to get the same thing from it, because nonverbal is so instinctual and so ingrained and so hard to fake, and so what your unconscious mind is putting out there. So it's a really cool thing to look at and to be aware of. If you guys have any questions, always open to answering them. Always open for great discussions or anything that you have to add. Have a great day.